Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time frame, right? Your time zone. Hey, real quick, I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up video for how to GIMP over on our YouTube channel. Hopefully everyone has seen that. GIMP, G-I-M-P, is a Photoshop-like tool. It's free, it's open source, and this is about 18 minutes. Just a quick overview of what you can do with it. Let me stop this as soon as it starts playing. Oh yeah, it's going to show an ad here. Do click the ads if there's anything of interest there. That's basically how I make money. So these videos that we're creating for marketing are available on YouTube. They're no cost to you. However, if you see an item that's advertised and you click on it, then we make a few pennies. But one of the services I mentioned that I love to use for free and royalty free is unsplash.com. And as you see, when I typed in UN, it actually came up because that's the most visited site for me. Again, I use Google Chrome. Another kind of hint here, I try to schedule everything in 27-minute increments of time. Try to focus, and then this will beep, sound an alarm when my 27 minutes are up. But here is Unsplash, and these photos are kind of big. You can make them a little smaller, a little more manageable. And these are the most recent ones that have been put up. But you can also search for something. So I'm looking for a nice splash screen for videos. And so I'm a big fan of ocean scenes. So let's type in the word ocean. Hit enter. It tells me there are 45 ocean photos, 42 ocean bliss, and 173 photos of some kind. Let's look at Ocean Bliss, see what that is. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to take a second to load because these are big images. Plus I'm also syncing. Let me pause Box for a minute. I'm in the process of switching from Dropbox to Box because they give 10 gig free, where Dropbox only gives 2.5 gig free. So here are Ocean Bliss photos. This image here I've used quite a bit. I kind of like that one. So let's download this. And so it's downloading. And again, I have mentioned I'm on a Macintosh, so that means a lot of things. And I've used a Mac for, well, I was on the waiting list in 1984. But I've been using a Mac in earnest again since about 2006, full time. Some PCs in there on and off for clients. But here's the nice thing. When I click on this, it's going to open in GIMP because I have made GIMP my default editor for JPEGs, PNGs, and a couple other formats. So it's going to open GIMP and open that photo that we just downloaded. And if you don't know, I recommend that you shoot your video in 720 HD, high definition. If you use 1080, the files are just unbelievably huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a splash screen from that photo, 1280 by 720. So there's the photo. And as you can see, we're looking at 12.5% because the photo is so big. So let's go to image and let's scale the image. Again, you always want to scale down, never up. And so let's scale this a little bigger than 1280. Let's go 1400 and see what it looks like. This is an unusual photo that it's actually in portrait rather than landscape. But now let's zoom in. Let's go 50% so we can see more of it. Like I said, we want to set a rectangle box. So we're going to check this box and we're going to put a specific size in here. We want 1280 by 720, and then I always hit tab to save that. Now when I click, it draws a box on this screen. Hopefully you can see that, and it shows me what's going to show up. And I want the scene right about there. So now I'm going to do a Command C or copy, and then I'm going to do a paste with a Shift key, which means into a new image. So now I've got a new image, 1280 by 720, and then I always like to brand the images. So I'm going to click on the text tool, and I'm going to type, the color's black. Let's make it a real deep blue. And let's click here and call it RhinoIsland.com. And let's change the font. Let's go sans bold italic. Okay, and it's 18. That's a little overpowering, so let's go down to 14. Again, I hit tab. Much better. So now that it's highlighted, I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to exit out so it's gone. Then kind of a quirk here with GIMP. I'm going to click on the bar here so that it's back in focus image rather than what I clipped. And now I'm going to hit Control V for paste. And the neat thing, it always centers it in your image. So if you're trying to center something, one way to do it is to cut it, delete it, and then hit the paste button, and it'll put it back in the center of what you're working with. So now I'm going to go back and grab the rectangle, which is my tool, and see how right now the anchor is an open box. I'm looking for crosshairs. And so when it turns to crosshairs, I am on the image itself. So I'm going to click, I'm going to drag it down here in the corner. Then I'm going to do a layer anchor. And so there it is. So first thing I want to do, I might use this quite a bit, so I'm going to save it as a native GIMP file. So I'm going to do a file, save as, and this was Ocean Bliss. And I always put the size in, almost always, 1280 by 720. And it automatically put XCF extension, which is the native GIMP format. Again, we could export this to Photoshop, JPEG, PNG. So now let's bring in the Rhino Island image. So let's go to File, Open, Pictures, and there's one of my most recent Rhino logos. One of the last things I did. It's a 1428 squared PNG. Let's open that. Now for some reason it always gets loaded in the background, so I'm going to move this down, grab this, copy, click on this to bring it to focus, and then paste. Whoa, Nelly, too big. So now that we got a hold of this and it's a layer, I can go to Scale Layer. Again, I'm 1280 wide, so let's do 640. Hit Tab, Scale. And again, it's centered it because I pasted. That's still a little big, so I'm going to hit Control Z to unscale it. Go back to Layer, Scale Layer, and let's go, instead of 6, let's do 540. See what that looks like. Scale. Okay, that's better. And then you want to anchor the layer. And then let's save this. And because we're in native GIMP mode, and it's got, let's Well, I could, let's do a save as. Let's do a save as, and we'll call this version A. So it's in native. But now let's export it for the web. So save for web, JPEG, and again, because I want to save it as a JPEG, I'm saying save as web, but we're actually going to use it in video, and then I'm going to bump it up to 100%. So it's a JPEG, 100%, 500K. Doesn't matter because it's going to be embedded in a video. Save. I'm going to use it in advertising. I'm going to use it in YouTube videos. And it's going to be a Rhino Island advert 1280 by 720. Save. And there, now I can import that and use that as a trailer, a clip at the end of my videos. So how slick is that? Again, if I wanted to use this for other purposes, Twitter likes a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's take this image. Let's real quick go to a fixed aspect ratio. And let's do a 2-to-1. And then let's draw a box. Okay, the box is too big, so I'm going to let go, and now I'm going to move the box. Okay, I want to catch that rhinoisland.com, so then I'm going to move the cursor into this corner, and as I make it bigger, it maintains that 2-to-1 ratio. That's just not working as I had hoped. So let's make it a little smaller. And actually, they prefer, if you're going to use it as a clip, Twitter is 440 by 220. But let's see. Well, 440. Nope, 440 is not going to work. Let's try. Okay, we'll do 5. Oh, okay, 1140. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to get this centered any longer. So I'm not happy with that. So I'm going to hit escape to get rid of that box. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to kill this. It's been saved. Kill this. Kill this. Don't save. Discard the changes. And I'm going to open recent version A, which has the logo over it. And I'm going to say, I'll just use it as is. But let's save a reasonable size for the web. At 85%, it's going to be 121K. Let's make it a little smaller. Let's get under 100K. Although I don't really like to go below 80% quality. Okay. So where'd it go? There it is. So let's don't go less than 80. So JPEG 80% quality, it's 103K. And again, pictures. Actually, I'm going to use this one for advertising. Greg Lou's popping in there. We're doing some stuff with videos, in fact. So advertising, Rhino Island, 1280 by 720 by 80%. Save. So now I'm going to quit GIMP. I'm going to go to Twitter and just show you how to use this real quick. Twitter's loading. What's happening? Just created a video splash screen with, let's make it # GIMP. And then I want to include the video, a link to the GIMP how-to video. And so it is how to GIMP version 2, and then I'm going to tag it. And then if I manually type it in, sometimes I put in my signature !ski. And you want 2 or 3 hashtags. So since I use GIMP, I'm going to get rid of my personal tag. Now I'm going to add a photo. It's in advertising. Oops, advertising. And date modified, Rhino Island, 80%, oops, 80%, open. This is actually the low version. I got characters left. This is the low res version. Tweet. And we're waiting on it to make it out to the Twitter universe, and then it's going to come back and show it to me. So there it is. Just create a video splash screen with GIMP, linked to the image or the YouTube video. There you have it. Come on, you can do it. Come on. It's loading up. Let's go to theater mode. It's going to display an ad. Skip the ad. And there you have it. I'm going to stop it. So, the end. If I can help, reach out to me. And do subscribe. In fact, here in a second, you're going to see the subscribe link pop up here. Plus 2 other videos that you ought to take a look at. They're worth your consideration. So again, if I can help, reach out to me. Jeff@consultski.com.